Hey, what's up? This is Dave Strand again with BeerandBattle.com. We do a Dungeons & Dragons podcast, and we've gotten quite a few requests to explain some of the more technical aspects of what we do at BeerandBattle.com. So today I want to explain the audio setup for recording. Our microphones, the recording system, and editing. Okay, so first off, let me explain what I've got going here for audio recording. I have a computer, a big honking computer, and then I've got a crazy FireWire sound card. Sound card's got several inputs. I can do up to 8 simultaneous inputs. And these are microphone or 1/4-inch inputs, so you can plug a guitar into it, or you can plug, it'll take, see, check it out, it'll take this kind of cable, whoa, whoa, or the same jack will take this kind of cable, XLR, or 1/4-inch, either. It's crazy, huh?
Revolutionary.
It is revolutionary. So, so I've got the sound card, plug all my inputs into the sound card. Sound card records into Cubase SX. This is the, I write music also. Check out The Strand at strandland.com. I write music, and this is a digital audio recording setup. So this top channel here, this is like one of the microphones, and this bottom channel here is the other microphone. And I'm going to show you a little bit more about those microphones real quick, and then we'll come back to this and I'll show you how I add the effects onto some of the characters in the game. Alright, let's wire up some microphones, shall we? Now the first microphone that we're going to wire up is the cool one. This is a Rode NTK.
Whoa.
Unlike most microphones, this microphone actually has a freaking power supply. It's that awesome. Here's the power supply for it, this big honking thing. So once we get the microphone wired up, we fire up the power supply, and then you gotta wait 5 minutes for it to warm up. It's that cool. But it's very sensitive. And it's very sensitive, and it picks up a lot of the low, high. It picks up everything. If you burp, it'll hear it. If you crunch on a cookie, it'll hear it. And if the air conditioning turns on or the projector is noisy, it'll definitely hear that too. One of the problems we have here, we have to keep a quiet environment over there. Alright, so let's get this wired up. Mic stand with the little cradle thingy.
Aww.
Alright, so this is where the mic goes for the Dungeon Master. This mic is specifically aimed at the Dungeon Master's mouth. But we don't want it too close because he moves around, so we set it kind of far back so he can move around quite a bit and it still has the pickup.
There we go. Yes, that is odd.
It's a weird cable. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pins instead of the normal XLR, which has 3 pins. I assume that some of those pins are doing power and stuff like that.
And magic.
So we aim this at the DM. It's about.
That's aimed like that.
Yeah, pretty much.
Not the top.
No, it's not. It's not directional this way. It's I believe it's cardioid this way. So it picks up. If you look at the gold, shiny gold thing on this, that's the front. Yeah, okay. I had to learn that the hard way. So this one picks up like this. Some of them are switchable so that it'll pick up on either side. This one's not like that. Just that way. So my second microphone is actually kind of an exotic microphone too. It is another Rode brand microphone. I'm tending to like the Rodes now. I like Shure a lot. Shure SM58 is awesome if you're right on top of it. But we've got some specialty situations here where we want to mic a whole room. And this is the Rode NT4 microphone. You'll notice it's actually a stereo microphone, which is kind of weird. But it's got a left and it's got a right. And you got that? This one is a condenser microphone, so it also requires power. Very sensitive. Made in Australia. And also has a weird
Made
cable.
by kangaroos.
Made by kangaroos, yeah. So. This is another weird one. It's got 5 now instead of 6. Weird. But the other end of it you'll recognize. It's got 5 on one end, and then it's got this XLR split down here. So literally it's just left and right. Yeah, you got it. So we'll run our cables back this way, all the way to the sound card. Actually, you never run your cables back this way to the sound card. What you should do is you should run your cables back that way to the microphones. Sound card's not going to move. The sound card's going to stay right there. But the microphones might move. So you want the slack at that end. Just a little tip. Oh yeah! So now we've got all of our audio. This is all the audio we use for the game. 2 microphones, NT4 Rode, and an NTK. You okay? And that's our audio setup for this room. Now we go back to that room, we hit record, and then we're good to go. Then we just record for 5 hours straight. Now you may say, but Dave, I've heard your podcasts. They're not 5 hours long. That's right, that's because I spend 10 hours editing a 5-hour podcast. And here's how I do it. Alright, so here's an edited podcast, for example. See this big colorful mess here? Here's the start. Here's the stop of the podcast. This is looking like about an hour long. And if you get real close in here, here's all my cuts. See where there's little lines there? I don't know if you can pick that up. See how there's like lines? That's where I cut and splice and squish together everything. Hey, I'm Dave. I play John Mithril, the Jim Morrison type bard. Okay.
I am Kelly. I play Zoe.
So this bottom row here, let me turn it down so you can see this. This bottom row here is the stereo microphone. You see there's left, there's right. And this top row is the Rode microphone. That's the, the tube mic, the big one. And see how there's 3 channels here and this one's down here? Well, that's how I make the robot voice for Better Tom. So if I was working on this and I saw that Scott, who plays Better Tom, said something, then I would take this track and move it down here. Let's hear it before and after, because I've gotten this question a few times. By Wizards. So he's kind of like a giant robot. And he talks like this. Okay, that's Better Tom without the effect. I drag it down. Hang on a second. Yep. I drag it down to this channel here. Make sure it's still lined up. Robot. And he talks like this. And there's his robot voice. Yep, there's his voice again. Let's do this one too. I'm flying! For anyone that's like into audio production, let's look at the actual effects here. We got a compressor, we've got a metalizer. That's got to be what causes a lot of the effect. And then there's a transformer, it's called. So those are the different effects that I use. Plus there's a little bit of reverb on it too. And then I make a different channel for each of the other characters. Like there's John Mithril's singing part, and that sometimes I use pitch correction on that. That's also a feature of Cubase, which I can show maybe in a later podcast because that might take a moment. And yeah, so this is the program I use to edit my podcast down. Like I said, it's usually like, if there's 5 hours of podcast, it usually takes me about 10 hours to edit. And most of our games run 5 hours. So as you can see, I'm not actually done with this one. We've got this episode, which I don't know which one it is, but... And, oops, it's all sold out.
World Wrestling. You should go check it out.
So we got this episode, we got this episode. It looks like this was a big game because I still have to edit this piece here. So this whole piece, see how huge it is? This will be condensed into something that's probably half the size. And I go in and I edit a lot of the dead air and empty space, and if the dice rolling is too loud, I turn the volume down on the dice rolling. You can control volume, you can fade things in and out. Anyhow, it takes a while, but it's, you know, it's fun. It's relaxing. If you'd like to hear our podcasts, go to beerandbattle.com, or you can look us up on iTunes. We're there too. We're also on Stitcher, which is for streaming podcasts. If you don't want to download them onto your devices, you can just stream them live at Stitcher. Just look for Beer and Battle there. Farewell.